Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. People all over the world are looking at the controversy regarding the videos I made refuting the narrative of black men getting their passports and going overseas to pursue relationships with foreign women. And many of those people who watch those videos and look at the controversy on social media as related to the response videos and post on places like Facebook are looking at those responses, and they are asking critical questions regarding the behaviors of many of these black males. Now, in the aftermath of me making those videos refuting the passport narrative regarding black men going overseas to pursue relationships with foreign women, I've had to deal with significant fallout. I've lost numerous Facebook friends, I have lost numerous YouTube subscribers, and I've even lost several patrons on Patreon who decided to stop donating money to support the channel as a result of me refuting this false passport narrative. However, most of those people out there who are watching this whole drama unfold, they aren't looking at me as some sort of bad guy, but they're looking at me and saying that there is something wrong with these black males out here for them to get this emotional regarding this whole situation regarding the black men going to get their passports and traveling overseas. Now, many of those people all over the world who are looking at this drama transpire, they are saying to themselves that there is something wrong with these black males for them to behave in this fashion. And I've had several people tell me that there were 3 other black male YouTubers to refute this passport narrative in the past. However, there wasn't this type of response ever directed at them. And those 3 black male YouTubers, they did not have to deal with people blowing up the comment threads, people going to the Facebook to get so upset and personal, and they did not have to deal with people literally going on Photoshop, spending 25-30 minutes of their day making memes to personally attack them. In most cases, those people took the opinions of those 3 black male YouTubers and they took them as their opinion and then went on about their business. Now, recently, about a week ago, Sandman made a video talking about Latin American women, and he read a letter from someone who lived in a Latin American country talking about how the country had been overrun by feminism and how many men in those Latin American countries were going their own way because these Latin American women had become feminists. Now, these Latin American women in these South American countries are a main destination for these black males, and Sandman talked about how these black males love to go to places like Brazil and Argentina and Colombia to pursue relationships with foreign women. And he talked about how this whole situation was getting ready to fall apart for those black males. However, in the aftermath of Sandman, a white Canadian male, making that video, we did not see all of these heated and upset black males going over to his channel looking to blow up his comment section, head over to his Facebook page looking to bicker and argue with him, nor did we see people making memes directed at your Sandman, a white Canadian male. And the reason I believe that those black males did not head over to Sandman's channel is because many black males are spellbound, they believe in white supremacy, and they wouldn't bust a grape when it came down to a white man presenting an argument to them. Now, after Sandman made his video, one of the black male YouTubers out there, he made a video accepting what Sandman said regarding the whole passport narrative as related to South America. And that really shows me how deeply dysfunctional your black male is regarding the issue of this whole passport drama. Sandman can go out here and make a video refuting the passport narrative as related to Latin American women, and the black males will accept it. However, when I present arguments that refuted the passport narrative, all of these black males went into a frenzy and are continuing to remain in a frenzy to this day, still remaining angry at me regarding the whole issue of black men and passports. But they will sit there, let 3 black male YouTubers get a pass, and let their opinions be their opinions, and even worse, they will take the word of Sandman, accept it, and then talk about possible other options for themselves. Again, showing us how deeply dysfunctional this black male is, and how personal this vendetta some of these black males have. Because I believe that this is a deeply personal thing for many of these black males on social media as related to this passport narrative, because they had no problem with those other 3 black male YouTubers and Sandman. However, they still continue to hold a grudge against me. And what's really troubling is more and more people on social media, whether they be white, black, or foreign on this global World Wide Web, are seeing this black male's dysfunction on display, and they're asking critical questions regarding this group of black males' behavior, because they're looking at this black male's behavior and seeing how dysfunctional it is, and asking themselves, why are they continuing to attack this man who has just presented information to actually help this black man, and you're still angry and upset about it, but you're not upset and angry when a white man or several other black men tell you this information. So they're saying to themselves, there is something wrong with it, and I've gotten messages from white men and foreign people who have told me that they are seeing things from my perspective and saying that there's something wrong with these black males for them to go into this kind of frenzy. And they're saying to themselves, this behavior is quite troubling, because to see a black man getting this emotional, getting into these histrionics and going to these extremes, this is something that makes them think that there is something deeply wrong with these black males. And they're saying this because they are observing the behavior of these black males on a global and international scale, and they're saying to themselves, hey, we're looking at the videos you posted, and we're saying, hey, he presented an opinion, he presented facts, and some of those people come to me and say, I have had this experience with these foreign women in my own country, and some people have said they have pursued relationships with foreign women, and they have been burned in many of the ways I talked about, and many of them have said they've had to deal with the exact same issues, and they're asking a question, why are these black men getting so bent out of shape at one black man, but you're not getting this upset about other people who tell you the exact same thing? Now, there are other black males who, even in the face of being presented with facts, are also showing how deeply dysfunctional they are. Now, in the face of Sandman's video, you had some people who were discounting it and saying, oh, this is a white nationalist, and I was like, how is Sandman a white nationalist? Moreover, I had another black female YouTuber, I believe Saving Blackistan. She sent me a video and where she talked about black men and passports, and again, the black males discounted it because they didn't want to hear those facts. Now, this woman lives and has lived in numerous countries overseas, has seen a lot of the things that transpire in these countries regarding interracial dating and black men traveling overseas, because she's a black person who has traveled overseas and has lived overseas. So she has seen this firsthand, but your black males, they want to discount information coming from someone who has lived there and from 2 sources, Sandman reading a letter from someone overseas, and Saving Blackistan, who has actually lived overseas, and say it's not true. And when people look at that type of behavior, they look at the black male and they say, again, something is wrong with this black male, that in the face of facts, in the face of logic, in the face of some people trying to present things to him in a reasonable fashion, he continues to go on in his emotions, trying to swear up and down that things that have been proven to be true are not true, and by participating in that behavior, showing the world how this black male clearly is one of the most dysfunctional people on the planet. Because if people are presenting the black male with facts, logic, and reason, and he still continues to look to try to justify things that aren't true to be true, people look at that black male and they start to wonder if this black male has mental problems. And many of these black males on social media, they don't understand how they're looking on social media by continuing to attack me, continuing to make memes. What they are doing is showing the entire world how deeply dysfunctional the black male is and doing damage to the black male image. And what they are doing when they act out like this is actually proving David Carroll's point about the dysfunction of the black male. And now we see it on a global scale, because what these black males ironically don't understand is that by attacking me, they are proving to the world the points that they believe about black men being dysfunctional, and they are also leaving a negative impression on many of these same foreign women out here they say they are trying to impress. Now, these black males, they think that the so-called foreign woman is better, but they don't see how bad they are making themselves look to those foreign women by continuing to attack me on this whole passport issue. Because those foreign women, they have access to social media. Those foreign women have access to YouTube. Those foreign women have access to Twitter. Those foreign women have access to Facebook. And when they see black men getting emotional, making histrionic response videos, getting personal, making memes, they look at that black man and they say to themselves, is this a man I want to get involved with? And the critical answer any critical thinking woman would say is no. Because if you see a black male participating in juvenile behavior like this, this is not a man any woman would want to consider for a relationship or to be their wife or their husband. Because if this man cannot handle a difference of opinion with another black man, then heaven help them if they get into an argument with this black male. So these black males don't see how they're making themselves look absolutely terrible in this whole passport situation. Moreover, they're making the image of black men look terrible in comparison to other males, because they show that they don't have any sort of critical thinking skills, ability to use logic and reason, or ability to problem solve. Because any rational thinking man out here, once I made that video, they would have taken it or left it, said that was his opinion, and moved on. But the main reason I believe many of these black males wouldn't let it go is because many of these black males out here, they are spiritually convicted, because what I presented in those videos was the truth, and those videos presented such a truth to them that they were so convicted in their souls that they know that they had done wrong. Because again, 3 other black YouTubers made the exact same video, but those men did not feel any sort of spiritual conviction. And it's that spiritual conviction that I believe has these men so deeply upset, and so still deeply upset, because they know that in order to deal with the spiritual conviction that they have to go to the living God and repent of their sins. But because these men are so caught up in the world, they don't want to deal with that spiritual conviction, so they look to attack me because I have presented something that has spiritually convicted them and has them knowing that they have done wrong. And that is the thing that has them so upset to this day, is that they cannot reconcile that spiritual conviction that they have in their souls. They don't want to repent of that spiritual conviction. And because they don't want to repent of that spiritual conviction, the same way those people didn't want to deal with that conviction they had with Stephen back when he preached the gospel, they want to destroy me in the exact same way those people wanted to destroy Stephen back in the days of Rome. So they want to destroy me, and the reason why they want to destroy me is because I told a truth that they cannot stand hearing, and I told a truth that they know is true to the core of them. Now, those black males, again, they don't want to confront that truth regarding themselves, and that's why they still are so angry to this day. And many of those people out there all across the globe, they see what something is wrong with these black males. And again, I believe it is a spiritual conviction, because after I made those videos and I had deleted them on YouTube and Black Avenger, I remember that Saturday, the Most High Living God told me I did the right thing when I made those videos, because I had some doubts about making those videos. But when the Most High told me that I had did the right thing, I realized that I needed to trust him, because if he says I did the right thing, then that's all that matters. So all of those black males who were out here, they want to try to hurt me by doing things like unsubscribing and them trying to delete their Patreon donations. But if the Most High has told me I did the right thing, then I did the right thing. And the right thing to do was to refute this passport narrative so that many other young brothers out here don't get caught up in it, and those young brothers don't get caught up in the white supremacist narrative that tells young black men that some foreign woman is better than him. Because when a black man sits there and says a foreign woman is better than a black woman, then what that black man is saying is that that foreign woman is better than him. And when he does that, he places that foreign woman on a pedestal and makes a god out of her. And the living God does not want us making people gods before him. So this whole narrative of the passports was about helping this black man and helping him to stop putting these foreign women on a pedestal, believing that they are better, when again, all human beings were born in sin, so no human being is better than any other human being out here. And anybody who has done their research on many foreign cultures knows that many of the issues your black male says he has with his black woman, as related to self-hatred, these same foreign women are struggling with the exact same issues. Your foreign woman, like your black woman, a lot of times in countries like Brazil and your West Indian islands like Jamaica, and even some African countries and even Asian countries like China and Japan, they all bleach their skin to appear lighter so that they can appear more attractive to white men. And many of your foreign women also participate in the exact same behaviors that your so-called black woman participates in having the so-called high body count, because in many of these countries, these women have not only been sexually active with the men in their countries, but they're also sexually active with white men as well. So the whole argument that these women are better is a false one. Unfortunately, many of your black males, they want to hold on to this lie like the gospel, because they want to continue believing the lie. And unfortunately, the lie cannot stand in the face of the truth, and because that lie cannot stand in the face of the truth, your black male is extremely angry because he wants to continue believing the lie, and he wants to continue buying into the lie, even though he knows in his heart he has been spiritually convicted, and he knows that that lie that he's trying to tell himself is just not true. And what he wants to do, because he wants to continue believing the lie and continue living in his smooth world, is he believes if he destroys me, he can go back to living in his smooth world. Unfortunately, once you have seen the truth, you cannot stop seeing the truth. And no matter what you do, the truth will always be there. No matter how much you try to deny a truth will always be there. And the Negro does not want to deal with the truth regarding getting his passport and going overseas, because many of these black males, they want to continue remaining whoremongers, and the main reason why many of them want to go over to those foreign countries is because they want to go out here and get free and easy sex with what they believe to be naive foreign women, and what they want to do is keep that gateway open and continue to believe that that gateway is open, even though Sandman has shown that that gateway to free and easy sex is now closing in places like Latin America. Your black male still wants to continue buying into the lie, but he doesn't want to believe the truth, even though he has been spiritually convicted. He wants to continue believing this lie, and he wants to continue buying into that lie because he needs that lie to be true, because his main fear is that if these women in foreign countries are just as bad as the black woman, then he may possibly have to go back to that black woman who he says is so bad. But the truth is that those foreign women were always the same as those black women. Unfortunately, because this black male doesn't understand female nature, he doesn't understand that women are women, and the big problem is him and his perception of self. And because he does not want to self-reflect or do any self-examination, he would rather lash out at me and make efforts to destroy me because I present a truth he's not comfortable with. And the biggest truth many of these black males who have the issue with the passport videos have is the fact that they themselves prove my point regarding them and this passport narrative. Now, many of these black males, their main argument is that this passport narrative is that I'm presenting is wrong because these women are better and all of this other stuff. But when I look at these black males who are making this argument, they prove my point because these black males are still single. So them right there, they prove my point about the so-called better foreign woman, because if this woman were so much better, then why haven't these black men gone to marry any of these foreign women? That's the critical question most people online all across the country and all across the world are asking, because they look at this black male and they say to themselves, you're saying that this woman is supposedly better, yet after all of your so-called travels to these numerous foreign countries, we don't see any of these black males with a wife. We don't see any of these black males presenting that wife on screen. And what makes these men to be extremely dysfunctional is that many of these black males will sit there and talk about black female swirlers and how they get their passport and go overseas, and yet they don't have a Waldo. But we look at this black male and say, well, you say that she doesn't have a Waldo, but you don't have a Malin, you don't have a Julia, you don't have a Adriana, you don't have anyone yourself. And that shows how this black male just does not see how he himself trying to argue with me and trying to destroy me proves my point about him and how dysfunctional he is and how he is presenting dysfunction on a global stage for the whole world to see. Because this black male, he'll sit there, he'll get emotional about these passport videos that refute this narrative and doesn't see how he himself, sitting here still single to this day, proves every point that I made about the whole passport narrative. Because again, if this woman was so much better than this black woman, then why don't these black men have a wife and why don't they have families? Moreover, if life in these countries is so much better in those countries, then why do these black men continue to come back to a black community that many of these black men say is so bad and that they need to leave and get away from? That's another critical question that your black male does not really have an answer for, because he's sitting there telling himself these lies and then wanting everybody else to buy in those lies. But people are now looking at this black male and they're saying to themselves, there's something wrong with this black male, because in the face of numerous people presenting now facts, logic, and reason to the black male, he still tries to hold on to this false narrative. And again, I believe that he wants to hold on to that false narrative because he fears having to deal with the black females in his community. And he's got to deal with the fact that his so-called fantasy is no different than the reality that everybody lives in. And I believe the main other reason that many of these black males want to come after me is because many of these black males, they have a lot of hurt as related to the issues of their failed relationships with black women, and that brings up all that pain to them, and they don't want to deal with that pain, so they lash out at the person who they believe is presenting them with this point. But I don't understand that, because these same, again, black males were not mad at Sandman. They were not mad at the 3 other black males, but I don't know what it is with them. But I think that is possibly some jealousy, because a lot of these black males, I think that they're jealous in some sort of way, because when you have a black male and he's come from a female-headed household, a lot of them are jealous. But these black males, there's something clearly wrong with them again, and the international community is now seeing the dysfunction of this black male on display, and they are now asking critical questions, because people all over the world are now saying, hey, why are they still mad at him, but you're not mad at these other people? And why are you continuing to want to attack this man, but you don't want to attack other men? So these are all questions that people are asking regarding these passport videos and the passport and the whole refutation of the passport narrative. And as they look at the facts regarding the whole situation, many more people are coming on my side and saying that I'm making valid points with my argument, and they're looking at the black males who want to attack me and saying that there is something wrong with them. And they're looking at those black males, and again, they're looking at the image of black manhood, they're looking at the image of black masculinity, and they are shaking their heads regarding the image of black males, image, masculinity, and manhood, and they're saying to themselves, I don't know what's wrong with these black males, but they're proving a lot of these racist points with their behavior. And this is one of the reasons why I tried to shut down things as related to the passport issue, because I was looking at the image of black manhood and masculinity. Unfortunately, your black males continue to escalate things, showing us all how deeply dysfunctional your black male is, and sadly, your black male doesn't see how bad he's continuing to make himself look, and he doesn't see how bad how his behavior is putting more of a negative reflection on him than it does on me. Now, I have lost a lot of subscribers as a lot of the passport fallout, and I've also lost patrons who were donating to the channel. And in order for me to continue making videos on YouTube, I do need the support of all the people all over the world out there. So I would appreciate it if everyone were to go out and donate to my Patreon or my PayPal or my Cash App, because without your support, I can't continue to make content on the air and continue to provide content that helps people all over the world. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.